What's up, Broncos country? Welcome to another edition of Broncos Daily with your host, Kurt Valenti. Before we get into today's show, just want to remind you guys, please like and subscribe to the page, and please bring some other Bronco fans. Also, leave your comments. I will do a viewer comment segment on each show. So leave your comments, and I will get to them on another show. But a lot of news today. Not really any Denver Bronco breaking news, but a lot of breaking news in the NFL that could be Bronco related. News from another day, a couple days ago, and again, whether it's official or it's going to happen, the Denver Broncos plan to hire a new defensive back coach, Doug Belk, former defensive back coach at USC, also former defensive coordinator at the University of Houston. Also worked under Nick Saban as an assistant. You know, we've had a lot of coaches that have left the Bronco organization. And again, that is not a bad thing. That is actually a great thing. It shows that other teams want our coaches. Other teams want what Sean Payton is, doing in this league. So obviously they can't go and get Sean Payton. So what do? They want to go out and grab one of his assistants. So a lot of openings. And we had a defensive back, defensive back. We moved on from a defensive back coach. A little different than getting hired by another team, but whatever. We still have the job opening. So it has to be filled. And again, Sean must like something in Belk. Again, he is going to come into a room that is probably the most talented defensive backfield in the NFL, obviously led by all-world, all-pro Pat Surtain. But you also have a secondary Riley Moss, which we're going to get to him in a little bit, hint, hint. Jahdae Barrett, first-round pick from last year, and the combination in the safety of Hufanga and Brandon Jones. So very talented defensive backfield. So if Belk does come in, he was going to be walking into an already made room. So listen, a great opportunity for him. Again, when you look at coaches that get hired, you always look down the road at, can this coach or any coach hired be a potential offensive or defensive coordinator down the line? Obviously, Vance Joseph, the past 2 years, especially this offseason, has been a hot name in the coaching cycle. Did not get a head coaching job. But again, if this defense does what this defense did this year, next year at this time, look for Vance Joseph to probably get hired. Obviously, Jim Leonard is gone. He went to Buffalo. That was supposed to be the coach to replace Vance. But again, he's not going to stay on if Vance is coming back. Vance is coming back. So, listen, just a great opportunity for Belk. Again, has a little coordinator experience behind him in a big program with USC. So, again, hey, let's get excited about this. If Sean likes them, let's get on board. Sean, with his hires, have been very good so far in all of his, whether it's coordinator or his positional coaching staff. So let's get on board. If it does become official, Doug Belk, possibly the next defensive back coach for our Denver Broncos. Talking about some big news today, and again, not Denver Bronco related, but could have an impact for the Denver Broncos. The Miami Dolphins released Tyreek Hill. Yes, that Tyreek Hill. The Tyreek Hill that we're probably used to not wanting to see after all the battles of the Broncos Chiefs in the past couple of years when he was with Kansas City. He got moved a couple years ago to Miami, signed on a huge deal. I believe it was a 4-year, $120 million deal, so $30 million a year. And just a gruesome injury this past season where I believe it was a Monday night game, and you saw it, you knew he's done for the year, and just how is this guy going to come back in his career from this? When you talk about this player, he has been, I want to say, one of a kind. Just the speed on this player and what he brought in his days in Kansas City and, maybe not last year, but the first 3 years in Miami, he's an unguardable player. You have to kind of game plan a defense around him because he can just wreck a game. He could wreck a game in the run game, reverses, jet sweeps, in the return game. But as a receiver, he's just a game-changing receiver. He's been a game-changing receiver in this league. And he's now free. The Dolphins saved a lot of money. Dolphins also released Bradley Chubb, former Bronco, first-rounder Bradley Chubb. By the way, Broncos country, if you remember this, when the Denver Broncos traded Bradley Chubb, we received a first-round draft pick from the Miami Dolphins. That first-round draft pick was not used to draft a player. Eventually, that first-round draft pick went to New Orleans for Sean Payton, for the rights for Sean Payton. So, it looks like we won that deal. Bradley Chubb will be a unrestricted free agent, and we still got Sean Payton, and Sean's doing Sean things in Denver. But let's get back to Tyreek Hill. 31 years of age, so a little concern. But besides last year, in 2022, 1,700 yards. 2023, 1,700 yards. 2024, over 900 yards. But the injury, again, it puts a big question mark, on should the Broncos go get him. Again, this is why I would say yes. He is the exact player. That is the exact type of player we need on our offense. A game-changing speed, just flat-out speed where you can't cover him, can go 70, 80 yards anytime he touches the ball. Yesterday, we talked about Jalen Waddle. And, I'm not going to say Jalen Waddle has had a career like Tyreek Hill because, I don't know, is Tyreek Hill a possible Hall of Fame player? I mean, again, what he has done in his career and how he just has changed the way teams play defense. Vic Fangio, when he was here as our head coach, kind of slowed the Chiefs' defense down a little bit by taking away the big shots and, the big plays and making the Chiefs go 10 and 12 play drives and stuff like that and making them go underneath. And a big part of that was because of Tyreek Hill. And so why wouldn't I want to have a player like that on our team? Well, 31 years old. And what's he going to command, right? It's not going to take any assets now because we don't have to trade for him. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. So it's all about money. Now, here's how I'm going to, here's how I would say I would approach it. And again, please leave your comments. Are you interested in Tyreek Hill? Do you not want to stay? Do you want nothing to do with him? Again, I got to see how this unfolds. I'll say it again. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, George Pickens. There's a lot, Alec Pierce. There's a lot of receivers out there. Is Tyreek Hill healthy? Can I see the medicals? Are you going to tell me he is going to be 100% healed and ready to go from game one from that injury last year? Then I'm going to talk and I'm going to think about it. What is the salary going to be? I'm not giving him anywhere near $30 million for a 31-year-old coming off of an injury. So no, that's nowhere near going to happen. But I want to be in the game on this. Can I see him going back to Kansas City? Yes. Does that scare me a little bit? I mean, them getting the band back together, right? Eric Bieniemy coming back to be the OC again, and Tyreek Hill, pairing him with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. I mean, it's a little scary, but we have to worry about ourselves first. So, is he healthy? If he is, I'm interested. What's the money? Am I giving him 25 to 30 million? Absolutely no. I'm not doing that for a 31-year-old off of an injury. But if you're going to say in the $10 million range, $15 million, you know what? I'm going to think about it. Did I strike out on Pickens? Did I strike out on A.J. Brown? Can I not make, deals elsewhere to improve? Is Alec Pierce going to re-sign with Indy? Is Justin Jefferson not available? Then I'm going to, I'm going to look into this Tyreek Hill thing because can he help our offense? Yes. He's the exact type of player just like I said with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill is the exact type of player that we need in our offense. A game-changing speed threat down the field that's going to blow the top off of the defense. That's going to help Bo Nix, help our run game, and help everything else underneath. So I am interested, again, but at my discretion. Like, I am going to decide what I am going to give you. I am going to check the medicals. And we have to see where we go from there of what else is available and what else is not available. Then I will look into it. What are your thoughts? Any interested in the Cheetah? He said he's going to be the Cheetah again. He's coming back healthy. He's ready to go. Listen, I would love him, though. I would love him in this offense. I'm not going to lie. It's exactly what we need, but it's got to be like on our terms. Money, checking out the injuries. What's your thoughts on that? Talking a bit about another weapon, and we mentioned this a couple shows ago. ESPN today came out with a trade proposal for a couple of teams, and they came out with one for our Broncos. And it happened to be with the Philadelphia Eagles about, the wide receiver we were talking about a couple shows ago, A.J. Brown. And this is what the trade proposal was from ESPN. The Broncos receive A.J. Brown and a 2026 fifth-round pick, and the Philadelphia Eagles receive cornerback Riley Moss, a 2026 second-round pick, and a 2027 fifth-round pick. Now, I do not think that compensation is bad. Do I want to lose a starting corner in the league? We talked about Riley Moss the other night, and we said, should he have competition? I like Riley Moss. I think he is a starting caliber corner in this league. Again, he's the most targeted one. Why? Because we have the best corner in the league opposite of him. So they're not going to throw it Surtain. So, he is going to get the attempts thrown at him. He is the most penalized player. I think we said he had 11 penalties, 9 pass interference calls. So teams do go at him in big spots. That is a potential problem. But again, listen, he has done a very nice job for us. Here is when we talk, again, the second round pick and the fifth round, it's a swap of fifth round picks between 26 and 27, so that washes out. So it's really a second round pick and Riley Moss, right, for A.J. Brown, who I love. And I know some of you guys, I don't want A.J. Brown. I don't want to deal with the headaches. And so, listen, sometimes you got to take risks when you want to go win a championship. The talent is there. I would bank that if the Broncos are interested in A.J. Brown and they were willing to get that deal done, that Sean Payton would put him in his place. Sean Payton would control him, keep him, make him understand the environment, what it's going to be a Bronco. I trust Sean Payton with that. Sean Payton has had players like that in the past. Sean Payton has succeeded with players in the past like that. So I have no issue on that. When you talk about Riley Moss, though, there's a couple things we have to talk about. This is the last year of his contract. So he will be a free agent after this upcoming season. He is a starting corner in the NFL. There are not a lot of starting cornerbacks that get on the free agent market. When they do, they get paid extremely well and a lot of times overpaid. So is that something we're willing to do? Not just because is Riley Moss worth it, but again, we mentioned this the other day when we said competition. We have a first-round pick, Jahdae Barron, who was drafted out of Texas to be an outside corner. Again, he can do a little of everything, and I always say he's the Swiss Army knife on defense, and that's nice to have a player like that, but eventually he's going to play the position where he was drafted for. He was drafted to be a corner. So, is the thinking of, hey, let's not just lose a starting corner in Riley Moss for nothing. We could go upgrade a position in need of wide receiver. We swap out, fifth round picks, 26 to 27, and it's going to cost us a second round draft pick. I don't think it's a lot. It's not our first, right? It's a second in Riley Moss. Again, is that a player that's going to be, in our long-term plans? Again, it matters what we're going to do with Jaquan McMillan. If that happens, we have to sign McMillan, and then Barron goes to the outside. Abram Drains. We have a couple guys. We could draft somebody, a corner. Again, sign a veteran corner, draft one or two in the draft and get them, prepped up and ready to go for depth. So it's interesting. I would do it. I would do it just because we need A.J. Brown. Again, I want a receiver like that. What's your thoughts? Hey, listen, again, there's a trade proposal and a free agent proposal. What would you guys rather do? Would you guys rather have Tyreek Hill or would you guys rather trade for A.J. Brown? I think the compensation is fair. Again, I'm not in love with losing a cornerback of Riley Moss, but again, you can't sign everybody, right? We are going to spend money on the offensive side of the football field, of the football field this year. Next year we can't be spending, $10 to $15 million and, on our cornerbacks, right? I mean, Surtain obviously got paid. How much can we pay the other guy when we just invested a first-round pick in Jahdae Barron? So I don't know if that's their thinking. Again, it's a trade proposal. It's nothing that the Broncos have looked into or something like that. But what's your thoughts? But it does make a lot of sense on what the Broncos are going to do with Riley Moss going forward. So do you like the proposed deal? Would you be in favor of it? Again, are you still in favor of A.J. Brown? Do you want nothing to do with him? And if you were interested in him, again, A.J. Brown in a fifth this year for Riley Moss, our second, and this year's fifth. I'm sorry, the Broncos would get back a 2027 fifth-round pick. So what do you guys say about it? Like it? Not like it? Let me know in the comments. Talking about viewer comments, and again, you guys have done a great job with the viewer comments. I love doing this. I got 2 comments tonight I want to comment on. But please leave your comments. Agree with me, disagree with me, ask me a question. It could be about anything Bronco related. So please bring it. I will get I'll get to your comments on other shows. And again, I love doing this. So let's get to comments tonight. First comment is from Vixen8655. And he says, talking about the tight end when I was talking about Sadiq from Oregon the other day. His comment, I wouldn't move up. I would take Sadiq if he falls to 30. Also really like KC Concepcion. Breece Hall should be our number 1 free agent pickup. Bringing in Evans, likely, or Otten would be a plus also. So he says a lot in this, and I agree a lot with him. Sadiq is one player, though, I would trade up for. Again, I'm not probably going to go from 30 to 10 to go get Sadiq. I mean, that's going to cost a lot. But if he is dropping, to the 17, the 18, into the 20s, I'm going to move up if that's my tight end of the future, right? He mentioned a couple guys saying likely or Otten from Tampa Bay. Again, both of those guys, and I mentioned likely from Baltimore as a free agent, and I like him, and I wouldn't mind either. They're both better names than what's on our roster, right? Again, I am leaning towards keeping Evan Ingram. I think Evan Ingram, and I read in an article today that, if Davis Webb, and it looks like, and we'll get to this on another show, but it looks like there's a lot of talk that Davis Webb is going to be the play caller this year. And again, we'll get to that and how much of a play caller, how much responsibility is he going to have. But they're saying if he does, one of the things that he would want to do is make sure he incorporates Evan Ingram more into the offense. So I do like that because, we signed him. He's better than what he showed last year. So I would be all for that. Couple other things. He mentioned KC Concepcion. He's a Texas A&M wide receiver. I do like him too. Big play receiver. We're saying we need an offensive weapon. We need a guy who can blow the top off of the defense, make a big play. So I do agree with him. And also Breece Hall. I'm with you. Listen, I've said this from day one. We need an RB1. It can't be Dobbins, just Dobbins himself. It can't be R.J. Harvey right now. Again, I'll say it for the 100th time. Give me Breece Hall with J.K. Dobbins with R.J. Harvey. That is a Super Bowl running back room. That is a running back room that will be a top 5 to 6 rushing attack throughout, catching the ball out of the backfield. That is what Sean Payton, listen, that will make this offense legitly dangerous. So I'm with you. That's my top, Brees Hall for me too would be my number one free agent. But again, with Sadiq, again, how much moving up? If it's something where I don't have to give that much to go get him, I'm gonna do it. But just look at him; he's a specimen, man. And they're saying he can be a game-changing tight end. If Sean thinks it, I have no problem with him going to get him. Second comment is from Raygun4392. And this was talking about when we were saying Jeremiah Love to the Broncos. If the Broncos would be interested, if they could possibly move up. He says, if not Love, I'll take Price. And that's Love's Notre Dame teammate, Jadarian Price, last year as their backup running back or number 2 running back, behind the best running back in college football. 113 yards, 674 yards, 11 touchdowns. This guy will be an instant starter in the NFL once and wherever he gets drafted. So would I take him to? 100%. I think, he has a little maybe Jahmyr Gibbs in him. He could find the end zone. He's explosive. He can make big plays. He could catch the ball out of the backfield. He could return a little bit. He could do some punt returns. Again, whether you're going to do that as, but listen, the Broncos had Harvey back there a little bit, so maybe he can kick off and punt return. But yeah, I'm with you on that one, Ray. I have no problem. I have him circled too. I don't know if I'm moving up to get him. Would he be a possibility at 30? Is he going to be a first-round running back? I don't know. Again, I'm not someone who believes like you can't take a running back in the first round. If you like the player, go get him, right? I mean, it's not, are people saying to the Lions you shouldn't take a running back, and why'd you take Gibbs? Gibbs is the best running back in football now, right? I mean, same thing with Barkley, same thing with Zeke Elliott when he was there, Bijan Robinson. So I don't believe that you shouldn't take a running back. Listen, you want a running back and you think this could be a top 5-6 running back in the league, go get him. And if you think, obviously Love's going to be that guy, but if you think Price is that guy, and hey, whether at 30 or I got to move up a little bit, and you really like him and say, this is the guy I'm going to pair with Harvey, yeah, I would do it. Again, I want to do it in free agency. I'll say it again, ETN, Brees Hall, Algier, those guys in the run game. I want a vet to go with Dobbins and Harvey, but I don't have a problem with Price. Again, I think he's explosive back. I think he'll be a starter in this league, and he has a very high upside. So, again, Vixen, thanks for your comment. Ray Gunn, thanks for your comment. And again, please, guys, leave your comments. I love doing the viewer comment segment. I'll read, like I said, whether it's agree, disagree, let's go. Let's talk Bronco football. I'm excited about it. This offseason's just, it's rolling, baby. It's rolling. We're getting rumors every day. I love it. News from, again, it doesn't have to be the Broncos made a move, right? Miami makes a move. Hey, but it can impact the Broncos. So please be sure to check back. Check back for the videos for Broncos Daily. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's go, man. Let's go. I am just super pumped up. Just news is breaking by the minute in the NFL, and a lot's going to be Bronco related. We're going to be involved in everything. We're going to be involved in trades. We're going to be involved in the draft. We're going to be involved in free agency. We got money this year. Let's go. Super Bowl window is now. Let's get some weapons. Let's complete this defense, and let's go win a Super Bowl, guys. Let's go, Bronco country. Let's go right now. Super Bowl window is now. Let's go. Let's go get it. Again, like, subscribe, leave your comments, and join back for another edition of Broncos Daily. Go Broncos.